Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we are here on what is today, the 28th of November, 2019. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a great day with your families for Thanksgiving if you live here in the United States. If you don't live in the United States or you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to everybody. But we're here to talk about NXT this week on the USA Network. I myself thought that this was actually a really good show, as I usually do on whatever the second review from Wednesday is. I compare a little bit, and I do have to say that I liked NXT not much, but a little better than I liked Dynamite. And here's the reasons. With NXT, and you guys either heard or can go back to my Dynamite review and hear my biggest gripe from that show. It's not explaining things enough. You have to be an insider. You have to watch Dynamite, watch Dark, watch Being the Elite, follow their social media, know everything to get stuff. And with NXT this week, everything was just laid out for you, plain and simple. Basically, this is the direction. It was very easy to figure out what was what. Dakota Kai. That wasn't just a one-time thing. She's a full-blown heel. Finn Balor. He wants the NXT Championship too. He pinned Tommaso Ciampa. He then attacked Adam Cole. Maybe it's a three-way, maybe it's not. But hey, we do know that both Ciampa and Balor, as I'll talk about later, are in the picture for that title. They're both basically number one contenders. And it's like, with NXT, it's all laid out as far as where everything is going for the most part. Now, the Leo Rush stuff is a little interesting. I'll get to that when we get to it. That's the confusing thing. But there's not as much confusion this week on NXT than I did have with Dynamite. But I digress. Let's just talk about exactly what happened on this show. So the show opened up with a hip-hop artist, and I'm pretty sure he works at the Performance Center. Yeah, he works at the Performance Center with doing music there and helping wrestlers with their entrances. It's Josiah Williams. Some of you may know him as Wrestle and Flow. I think it's Wrestle and Flow. Maybe Wrestle Flow. Correct me in the comments below. It's either Wrestle Flow or Wrestle and Flow. I can't remember, but he's Josiah Williams. That's his real name. He led the NXT roster to the ring. He did a live rap song. The crowd got involved. And they were celebrating not only a good takeover, but winning Survivor Series against Raw and SmackDown. The Undisputed Era would then interrupt. And it was weird because they interrupt. Adam Cole starts talking. Everybody disappears then. Just disappears. Except Ciampa, Dijakovic, and Lee. And I'm just like, wait, where'd everybody go? Okay. So Ciampa starts talking. Well, first, Adam Cole claims we are NXT, claims that the Undisputed Era is the reason for NXT's success, where, not really, bud. Roddy, won. You were not even in a brand match, a brand versus brand. And Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, they lost. So only Roddy helped NXT win. But I mean, yeah, that's 1 point. Tommaso Ciampa then stopped Cole's speech. Ciampa was flanked by Lee and... Oh, Riddle was there too. I forget. I have that written down. Riddle was there too. Excuse me. And Dijakovic. Ciampa cut a promo where he announced that Lee and Dijakovic would be challenging O'Reilly and Fish, which we already knew, but that match will happen next. We don't have to wait. Ciampa then addressed the NXT Championship, as he called it, his pet name Goldie. He said, and I quote, "Goldie, I told you that you had to wait because Daddy was going to war. Well, war's over, and Daddy won." Ciampa's just so great. The subtle things, the way he delivers his lines. Ciampa went on to say that no one is undisputed and is going to stand in his way. Ciampa continued issuing a warning to Cole before Finn Balor would enter. Balor walked right past the Undisputed Era and started talking to Ciampa, where he said, "Looks like I'm standing in your way." Ciampa then challenged Balor to a match later on in the night, and we learned that that would be the main event. Keith Lee and Dijakovic then challenged for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Oh, I do have to mention, Mauro Ranallo was not on this show. He did not come to Full Sail this week for NXT, and Tom Phillips did fill in. And I thought Tom Phillips did a great job. I think Tom Phillips is a really good announcer. I like Tom Phillips on the booth, or on the call, whatever you want to call it, in the booth. So, Undisputed Era successfully defended the NXT Tag Team Championships against Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic. About a minute or so into this match, Keith Lee would gorilla press Bobby Fish over his head and throw him to the outside. Kyle O'Reilly was supposed to catch him, and he kind of caught him. Didn't fully catch him, and Bobby Fish crashed on the mat. Now, the show goes to commercial, and when the show comes back, Roderick Strong is out there in street clothes. So from what we have learned is WWE was fearful that he did suffer a concussion. I'm getting ahead of myself. An injury. Bobby Fish, that is. During that commercial break, they immediately sent out a tweet, and they were like, Roderick Strong has replaced Bobby Fish in this tag team title match, as Bobby Fish may have suffered an injury. So I like that. I like that they're like, hey, this is what's going on. What I didn't like is they didn't address it on TV. They addressed it on social media saying, hey, Bobby Fish may have just suffered an injury. Because the Undisputed Era have multiple members, we're going to allow another member to jump in. I wish Tom Phillips or Nigel or Beth, somebody, would have actually said that as well on television. Because you come back from commercial, it's Roderick Strong in there now with O'Reilly, and you're like, wait, what happened? And the first thing you think of is maybe Bobby Fish suffered an injury. But what happened? They didn't have to say, we think it was his knee. We think it was a concussion, which that's the going word right now, is they think it could have been a concussion. He was walking around backstage, so it's good that it's not the knee. But may have been slight concussion. He may have been knocked a little loopy on the fall. So we'll wait and see if we can find anything else out. But that is the word right now going, that he may have suffered a concussion, and to be safe, they pulled him from the match, which is okay. So the match continued while they figured everything out. Before long, Dijakovic was suplexing Lee on top of Strong and O'Reilly. Strong had a little momentum here as he targeted the knee of Dijakovic. Strong was working the knee, and then we went to commercial break. This time, no split screen, so I didn't know what went on. Lee eventually cleaned house when they came back off of a hot tag. He smashed O'Reilly and Strong with splashes and strikes. They tried a double team move, but Lee tossed them over his shoulder. Lee teased a dive and Strong clipped his leg. O'Reilly then delivered a flying knee off the apron. Lee was weakened here, but tagged out. Dijakovic then ran wild. He went for a choke slam, but O'Reilly caught him in a triangle. Great transition here. Dijakovic, though, powered out, deadlift powerbombed him, grabbing Strong as well in a choke slam. So he's got, with one arm, Kyle O'Reilly up into powerbomb position. Then he grabs Roddy, picks him up as well, and slams them both down. That was great. Dijakovic is great. Crowd popped hard for that. Dijakovic then went for his finisher, but O'Reilly escaped. Lee was again shot blocked at ringside, and Dijakovic made a save with a flip dive to the outside. Dijakovic with a double choke slam in the ring as Cole tried to run in. Lee then met him about 3/4 of the way down the ramp with just the most amazing looking pounce you have ever seen. If you have not seen this yet, you need to go on Twitter and just go to the WWE NXT Twitter page, or just type in Adam Cole pounce or Adam Cole Keith Lee, because Adam Cole's running down the ramp. He's looking straight at the ring, and from the right side of view, Keith Lee runs in, and he pounces fucking Adam Cole so hard that he flies up about 3 feet. He's about 3 feet, maybe 2 feet above the barricade, and into like the second or third row. This was just a thing of beauty. It's the new greatest wrestling GIF out there. It's holy crap. It's a sight to be seen. I'm just going to say that. The only thing about this, though, was it distracted Dijakovic. He fell victim to the high-low. Strong covered him, pinned him. Undisputed Era retained the titles. Kathy Kelly then interviewed Candice LeRae about the actions of Dakota Kai this past Saturday. LeRae was upset that Kai turned on Tegan Nox. She said, "They're like sisters to me." Lee then issued a warning to Dakota Kai ahead of their match later on tonight. We then got a nice little match here between Monsour and Shane Thorne. Monsour is just running a wave right here, riding a wave coming off of Crown Jewel, his win over Cesaro there. And Shane Thorne, I don't know. Ever since Nick Miller left and he's no longer TM61, it's like he's just the guy to get beat. Monsour won easily. Monsour with the shine early. Thorne caught him in an attempted tope. Thorne then suplexed Monsour on the floor. Thorne worked over Monsour, and he also dashed them hope. Monsour still made a comeback. He then connected with a tope of his own. Monsour followed it up with a slingshot neckbreaker in the ring for the victory. I hope they do more with Monsour. He's really good, and if you've ever seen a Monsour match, you'll know what I'm saying here when I say his facial expressions are top-notch. So then we got Candice LeRae taking on Dakota Kai, and the match ended in disqualification. LeRae started strong in the match, and she flew through the ropes with a tope. LeRae with a step-up senton for a 2. Kai then cut LeRae off and posted her. Kai was waylaying LeRae with kicks to the face as the show cut to commercial. Kai missed a charge after the break, and LeRae started a comeback. As LeRae was firing up, Kai caught her with a sit-out powerbomb for 2. LeRae went to suplex Kai on the apron, and they both crashed to the floor in a bad-looking spot. It looked like they were going for like a German or something, and they were supposed to crash on the apron, and they missed the apron, and they both fell hard to the floor below. But they were okay because there was another awkward spot that they were able to do. LeRae leapt off the top into a tornado DDT. Didn't look quite that great, but it was okay. There was then a double down spot that led to them teasing a sunset bomb. Kai then went to use Tegan Nox's knee brace, but for some reason she was unable to do so. LeRae just powerbombed her instead for a near fall. And I forgot to mention, she brought what they said was Tegan Nox's knee brace to the ring with her as like a trophy for what she did at TakeOver. LeRae then missed a springboard quebrada, and she was hit with the knee brace for the DQ. LeRae, my bad, I missed a spot here. I actually skipped a spot. She went for the springboard quebrada, and Kai hit her finisher. LeRae kicked out of 2. She went for a La Mystica and turned it into a Gargano escape. Dakota Kai rolled out of the ring off of this, then used the knee brace, brought it in, hit Candice with it, caused disqualification. Kai then continued to attack Candice after the match was over. She started smashing her into the ring steps, into the barricade, grabbed a chair, looked like she was going to hit Candice with it, and Rhea Ripley ran down and just kicked the chair right out of her hand. Rhea Ripley, big sister to the save, or maybe little sister if you go about age. Tommaso Ciampa, saw him in a backstage interview with Kathy Kelly. Just cut a normal promo on Finn Balor. Nothing special. Effective, though. We got a nice hype video here for Cameron Grimes. Then we had NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. It was Lio Rush defending successfully against Akira Tozawa. And here's my issue with this. Akira Tozawa, at Survivor Series, lost a triple threat with the title on the line. Why the hell is he getting another shot? Why does the title even need to be on the line? At TakeOver, video was posted online that after Angel Garza's match, he was attacked by the champion Lio Rush. Then, last night, after his match against Tozawa, WWE posted another video with Lio Rush talking about Angel Garza, and he basically said, it's not over between the two of us. So why did we need Tozawa versus Rush? It would have made a little bit of sense if maybe Angel Garza came down to ringside, maybe tried to interject himself into this match. But no, just a straight up good match. But it was just a straight up match that built to nothing. But if you watch on social media, you're supposed to think, hey, where's Angel Garza in all this? He's the one feuding with Lio Rush. So that right there didn't make quite that much sense to me. But as far as the match goes, there were some fast-paced exchanges early and then a stalemate. They continued to grapple until Tozawa struck with the senton on the apron before a break. After a break, there were some cool video game reversals. This led to a double down where they both kicked each other. The fight spilled to the apron. Tozawa then gave Rush a German suplex to the floor off the apron where he herked him over his head. Rush did like a 180, just smashed his face right on the mat, but he was fine. They teased a double count out at one point, but both leapt back into the ring to break the count. Tozawa at one point fired up, hit a bridging German suplex and only got a 2 off of it. Rush then got his knees up on an attempted senton. Rush then executed 2 frog splashes and went for the pin, pinning Tozawa, retaining the Cruiserweight Championship. We then got Finn Balor cutting a promo on Ciampa during a backstage interview with Kathy Kelly. Again, by the numbers promo, basically just talking about what he's going to do to Ciampa later tonight. Then we had Xia Li, I don't know what it is, Xia Li against Vanessa Bourne. Bourne basically wanted revenge for what Xia Li did to Aaliyah. Match went literally maybe 30 seconds. Lee pinned Bourne in a very short match with a backdrop. Larger story, though, is that the NXT Women's Champion and her horsewomen were on the stage. When Bourne hit that backdrop, right after Bourne hit the backdrop, Bourne then hit a spin kick Lee hit that backdrop. Shayna Baszler came out. She then hit a spin kick to Vanessa Bourne and pinned her. This then led to Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir rushing the ring to attack Lee. Lee started to fight off, but then Baszler came in and struck her. Lee was simply outnumbered. The horsewomen held Lee so Baszler could deliver a kick. Baszler then cut a promo saying everybody was taking credit for NXT's success over the weekend, but no one had a better weekend than her. Baszler put over how she defeated both SmackDown champion Bayley and the Raw Women's champion Becky Lynch in the same match. The crowd heckled Baszler with chants for Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley did come out. And I do have to say, no, Baszler, Ripley had the better of the 2 nights. Because she won twice. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Let me double check this. The babyfaces won the women's match, right? I'm blanking here. I'm looking this up really fast. The babyface women won War Games. I'm pretty sure I've got it loading right here. And the results are, Team Ripley. I was right. So, Shayna, you lost on Saturday. Rhea won. That's right. She beat Shayna. She pinned Shayna. That's right. God, I'm an idiot. And then she beat Sasha the next night. So it's like, no, Shayna, you didn't have the best outing of the weekend. Rhea Ripley did, winning 2 matches. Rhea said that she had something to tell Baszler face to face. So when Rhea came down, Shayna left. She then said, I have something to tell you face to face, so Shayna came back to the ring. Ripley congratulated her on her victory, but reminded her that she beat her at War Games. She said, and I quote, "Then why don't you do it now?" When Baszler said that she'll make her tap. Baszler basically said, I'll make you tap and nap. And Ripley said, then why don't you do it now? Baszler walked away as Ripley said, Baszler walked away as Ripley basically taunted her and said, hey, come at me now. And, well, Shayna didn't want nothing to do with Rhea right now. In my opinion, I think Rhea beats Shayna for that belt within the next month or so. And if I was booking things, here's what I would do. Shayna wins the belt before Royal Rumble. No, my bad. Shayna loses the belt before Royal Rumble. Shayna is then a surprise entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble, wins the whole damn thing. Shayna Baszler then goes on to Raw and challenges Becky at WrestleMania. Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch, WrestleMania next year, Tampa, Florida. Boom. Book it. It was then announced that next week, Damian Priest will go one-on-one with Killian Dane. Then we move to our main event. Finn Balor defeating Tommaso Ciampa. This was billed as the first match between the two. I think it may have actually been. I didn't look it up. The match was a nice back and forth early on. That was until Ciampa catapulted Balor into the post before a commercial break. Balor cut off Ciampa during the break, and Ciampa made a comeback as another commercial, or right as the commercial ended. Balor crashed into the barricade when Ciampa knocked him off the apron with a knee strike. Another knee strike by Ciampa netted him for a near fall in the ring. Balor answered back with a sling blade. He sent Ciampa out of the ring. A shotgun dropkick also sent Ciampa into the barricade. Ciampa delivered an air raid crash on the floor. Balor teased getting counted out, but then made it back into the ring. Project Ciampa led to a near fall, but Balor kicked out the last second. Adam Cole would then run down eventually and cause a distraction. Balor got rolled up with a schoolboy, only for a 2. Cole had dropped his championship in the ring when he jumped up on the apron. Balor then would go to use it, but to no avail. So Cole drops the belt in the ring. And Ciampa, no, my bad. Sorry for that. I apologize. Cole dropped the belt in the ring. Balor went to use it, but to no avail. Ciampa countered with a roll-up. Balor then executed a reverse DDT on the belt, but it was not a DQ because the way he did it was like, hey, I didn't know it was laying there. So it was ruled, quote-unquote, accidental. Ciampa kicked out anyways. Cole then interfered as he hit Ciampa with a kick, and Balor hooked him and delivered the 1916. Balor covered Ciampa and was victorious. Cole had a nice little smirk on his face. So Ciampa was laid out here. Cole came into the ring, grabbed his belt, held up the Undisputed Era sign, and looked at Finn. Finn looked at him. Finn looked at Ciampa, put the guns up, and then he Pele kicked Cole right in the face. So looked like maybe Cole was like, hey, you want to join Undisputed Era, Finn? And Finn said, hell no. Finn then walked off, and the show faded to black. And that was NXT, guys. That was this week's NXT. I thought it was a really good show. I thought it was slightly, not much, but slightly better than this week's Dynamite. Again, I already told you at the top of this show what my 2 gripes were and stuff. So with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who watched right here on YouTube. And thank you to everybody who listened later or listens at all on podcast platforms like SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so much more. You can follow us on social media. On Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. You can follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited. And you can follow us on Instagram. Just search Pro Wrestling Unlimited. We will be back live. This show wasn't live, but we will be back live after Friday Night SmackDown this week. So we'll see you then. Have a great day, guys.